out good.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, District 33 family. Joseph Stephen Scotta in the house, your Bath District 33 director. We started this series not too long ago, and we basically want to meet the different members, family members of District 33. And we all have a different background, different experiences, lots of different fun. I want to introduce one of my good friends in District 33, and she's an awesome member, and so glad to call her a friend. But please help me welcome distinguished Toastmaster Jackie Alford. Jackie, how you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. And you?
I'm doing good. Obviously, I fumble my words. People ask me all the time because when I'm speaking and presenting, the ahs, the they're not there. They don't exist in my vocabulary. But when I do interviews, I more often will stumble on my own words and on my own tongue. You ever fall into that when you talking every day?
Yes, I do. And I find it's usually because I'm rushing. My brain is going faster than my mouth. And one of the things we learn in Toastmasters is how to slow down, that it's allowable to think and talk at the same time. And I think you'll find if you employ that, you'll get over that stumbling issue that you're experiencing right now.
No, that's a very good point. Very good point. I learned to master the pause a few years ago, but I don't do it in everyday speaking. Anyways, enough about me. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Which division you represent, Jackie?
I represent Division F, the fantastic division.
The fantastic division.
Yes. We were the Fantastic Five. We're down to being the Fantastic Four, but we're just as fantastic as we've always been. My home club is Foster Farms Roasters, which is located in Area F1. I belong to multiple clubs in four different divisions now, all under District 33 umbrella. And I find that I learn a lot from all of the different people in all the different areas. With COVID, we can't get together for our conferences. And I'm finding this is how I'm keeping in touch with those that have taught me so well and mentored me over the years.
No, that's a good point. In fact, when I used to visit your division during your some of your trainings and some of your contests, I got a lot out of it. And obviously, we know person to person is a little bit more fun. It seems a little bit more rewarding. But tell us a little bit about how pathways have helped you in a different way.
Ways has helped me be a little bit more electronic than I'm used to. I come from the paper generation, and we now are working in the paperless world. So it's teaching me that I can function without paper. And once you get through an entire path from beginning to end, as you get towards the end, you start understanding the flow so much better than that first initial experience. And then as you add paths to your thing, you'll also find that they're similar, different in certain ways, but they're similar in the basics of what you're going to do. So they're for those who are going, I don't want to do pathways because it's not like legacy. Actually, once you get into it, it's more like legacy than you think.
You know, that's a good point because it probably took me two paths to go through before it clicked.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going through it, you're doing the tutorials, you're doing your icebreakers, you choose the electives, which is fun. And I always choose similar ones. But when I stepped out and started my third path and chose different electives and even longer speeches, that's kind of when it clicked. And I feel like wow, this is actually an advanced manual, which is something I didn't think about in the beginning. So now you've been a Toastmaster how many years now? When did you start?
'07.
Oh seven, back when you were a teenager.
Yeah, back when I was a teenager, back in
Sure.
'07.
Well, that's pretty exciting. I know you've been division director. You've done things with the district also. Where do you find the reward in leadership positions?
I enjoy, as a leader, I enjoy watching our division, our district grow and succeed. As a leader, I tend to I try to stand back and guide, not be a drill sergeant, as it were. And I try to let people develop by guiding them. And my biggest joy is going to a DEC meeting, which is when you're a division director, you get to go to these extra trainings and you have to give a 2-minute speech. And my pride and joy was being able to go for 2 years in a row and say that all of my areas, all of my clubs were 100% trained. 7 out of 7 positions, 4 areas, 21 clubs. And none of the other divisions focused, I think, as hard on it as we did. But that's telling you that your area directors under you are doing their job. The club presidents are getting the information from their area directors. They're passing the importance on to their club members and their officers. And that training is just so important for people to understand, whether you're in a small club or a large club. And the one thing that I try to always share with new members when I ask them, why are you joining? What's in this for you? What are you trying to get out of this? Is the fact that these leadership skills will go into your work, will go into the rest of your life, will even help you sit down at the table discussing with the other partner in your life why they're not going to buy a motorcycle. Tactfully, distinctly, and with confidence. And yes, I have had to have that conversation.
It's funny, very few people bring up how important Toastmasters is to their marriage, their relationships, to other people in their life. And it's not necessarily a better communicator, better listener. And we learn how to negotiate a little bit, you could say, the longer we've been involved. So obviously, as a division director, and you've got all your area directors to get their clubs in line, because I realize it's the same basic club officer training for everyone. Tell you what the president does, the VPE, membership, secretary, treasurer, so forth and so on. But if that part, the different leadership and additional training, and even the Q&A, that brings it all together. I didn't realize that in the beginning. I thought it was all just about the 7 officer positions, and the second training is the same thing. But no, there is so much more if we take it seriously. And I realize when we take it seriously, we're able to bring more people in. You or how did you mentor or coach your area directors about the importance of getting the training done?
Well, I focused on how important their training was and the fact that they need, and the importance of your council meetings and how your president should be having the council meetings more than, twice a year when it's time to replace you, that type of thing. The other thing we tried to do in Division F was we would reach out to our membership through our area directors to see what it was about our training that we could improve on. Because you've got to remember, I've been a member of Toastmasters for 16 years. I have been an officer of multiple clubs for 16 years. Needless to say, I've been to a few trainings in my time. And the big question is to your seasoned, I have veterans, 30-year-old, 30, 35-year-long Toastmasters in my division, like most divisions have.
Sure.
And I've got to keep them engaged. That's my challenge as a division director, as an area director. How do we keep those people engaged? They're our biggest source of information.
Sure.
So instead of having them just come and sit and hear what do you do as a treasurer when you've been a treasurer for 35 years, I would engage them into teaching others how to be a treasurer. I would engage them in a special workshop when Pathways first came out, for instance. We all had our little trainings that we had, but nobody knew how to use them. Well, I was lucky enough in Division F that I had two very savvy computer people. And for 4 different trainings for 2 years, we spotlighted how do you get into base camp? How do you get your first path? Just the basics. This was before Zoom meetings now.
Wow.
We were meeting in person. One of the challenges that Division F has is one of our areas is up in the mountains around Sonora and Yosemite. Those people don't come down for a 2-hour training. So I started offering them Zoom training. They could come into the training, they could watch it all. So they got to see everything. They participated in the broken down sections. I got permission from TI, so they get credit for it. So we had started that before COVID and everything, because I wanted to legitimately get these people trained and give them that overall experience.
That's a good point. You're a trendsetter, obviously, and that's exciting because you want to ensure that everyone got the same training, not different. Sometimes different clubs or divisions where you do it separately, they're not getting the full gist of what's really going on. So what's your background? What do you do for Foster Farms at the moment?
My background is accounting.
Accounting?
I have been in the food industry, cattle industry for over 50 years. I've been an accountant for over 50 years. And I think the only thing I haven't dealt with in food processing is fish in over 50 years. I was married to a butcher and a slaughter and a truck driver. I'm an Army brat, so I have the discipline of the Army behind me, which oddly enough makes my work a lot easier because I work with retired Lieutenant Colonel Marines, Air Force, Navy SEAL. I've got a brand new one that I'm working with right now. He's a retired Navy SEAL. And a lot of our younger group have trouble communicating with these people.
Sure.
And again, it's just where your background comes from. And it's like when I go out to Louisiana and Alabama to our plants out there, I come from Georgia and I can talk to the people. I understand what they're saying. And I can do the same thing if I go up to Pacific Northwest. So I'm very well rounded, but I attribute that to the fact that I love what I do. I try to absorb it like a sponge. I use it every day. I'm the property manager analyst for Foster Farms, which means I touch every capital expenditure from the time they dream it up to the time they send it out to the scrapyard. I deal with trucks, I deal with tractors, farm tractors, I deal with all the equipment and all the plants, all the ranch equipment. I have been in every facility we own multiple
That
times.
that's amazing, and still a Toastmaster for 16 years. Before I let you go, how does Toastmasters make your job a little bit easier, if it makes it easier at all?
It does. And again, it comes from the ability to listen better. So I find when I start stumbling, I have a bad habit of getting so passionate about what I'm talking about and so excited. Without even realizing, I'll start talking over people. Answering the question before they've finished asking it. If you're not dealing with an overly passionate person, they do not appreciate that. So
That
listening helps, knowing that you do not have to answer the question the minute you're asked the question. Life is one long series of table topics.
you're 100% right. I'm on board with that really quick.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
really
really,
quickly,
it
I know
is.
you're Division F. Where do you live in Division F? We don't need your address, just what city.
I live in Stevenson.
Citizen.
It's a four-way stop sign on Highway 165 and 140. I live in the middle of 30 acres. I used to show and train successfully and breed half Arabians, quarter crosses, Western pleasure horses. Now it's now me, the two dogs, the two cats, and 8 longhorn cows with their babies.
That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough. That's enough. All right. Well, any last minute words of wisdom for our audience, because we're so glad you're part of our district and people want to know more about Jackie Alford.
Words of wisdom. Don't give up. We have a member in our family who's very, very constantly will say, "You are not alone." We are all of us right now are struggling with membership, struggling. We're changing again. We're going from, we just figured out how to Zoom and unmute ourselves, and now we're trying to figure out how to do a hybrid meeting in a restaurant. Hang in there. Change is not exciting. It's the pits. But what you learn from it, where we were 4 years ago, where we are today, we had a lot of members who quit because we went to Zoom. As leaders, we have to be honest with ourselves. Those people were ready to retire from Toastmasters, and that gave them the legitimate excuse, reason for quitting, that they didn't feel like they were totally letting down their clubs. Our membership is down across the world. Look at where you work. Your membership is down. Your employment is down. A lot of people are still working from home. We still have a long way to go, but together, if we stay together as a family, support each other, and believe in what we're doing, like we did 5 years ago, we will get through this too, and we'll be back up to our 20s per club with our good memberships, new people to give us new ideas, new thoughts on how to do things. We're around to stay. Division F is not going anywhere.
That's why they call you Fantastic
That's
Division,
right.
Fantastic F or F Fantastic, whatever it is. Well,
It's the
we
fantastic
appreciate
one.
and I know all the clubs in Division F are fantastic, at least the ones I visited, and everything you have a hand in. I know it's going to be that way. So we deeply appreciate you taking time to share it with us, with the rest of District 33 family. We are a big family. We're the people, and we all have a little different background. We don't all live in the middle of 30 acres. Some live, a bedroom in a house, but we all have a different background and a common vision. And we just appreciate you coming out to talk to us, Jackie. So with that being said, hey, if you want to learn more about Jackie or some of our other members of this district, please reach out to us and any of us in District 33, and we'd love to showcase you. With that being said, thank you all for serving and continuously supporting us at the district. We appreciate it. Thank you.